And we are live. Hello and welcome on this August 4th, 2025 at 8:12 in the morning, coming in at an odd hour. This is episode 154 of the Anarchy Show. And we are continuing our Windows 7 build, our dedicated Windows 7 build. I will get things going. Let's get the dragons going. It's good to have routines in times of stress. So here we go. If you watched the previous episode of the build, we got so far and then we ran into an issue where some clearance issues with the upper fans and the optical drive housing. So that has been remedied. And in fact, we'll jump over to the overhead cam now and switch this one. Produced on the fly by yours truly. We're live, unscripted, filmed before a live studio audience. Or are there some such? And here we go. So when last we left off, we needed some clearance right here. So I took this over to the shop, busted out the die grinder on the Dremel and cut that out, took the files, smoothed it out. It now clears. We can now put this in. The only reason I wanted to get this in is I wanted to get the drives in, I wanted to get the wires in. We are going to have, if we complete this build on this stream, I have to do a lot of cable management, which is my favorite. I love cable management. But I have that to look forward to. So, let's go ahead and get this installed. Placed inside the case here. One of the reasons I went with the Fractal Focus, I'm not sure how a period correct it is for a Windows 7 machine, but it had what I wanted. I wanted a good front, at least two fans on the front, two fans on the top. I wanted to have drive bays, and I wanted a clear panel to be able to show off the insides of this thing. And with the Focus, I got that. It's got some issues, definitely. Okay, no screws there. Need some case screws. Some hard drive screws. No, that's not the right one. The threads appears to be different. We'll try one of these. That threads in perfectly. That's not the same. I'll try to keep an eye on chat. Oh yeah, see that? All that wonderful spaghetti mess that we're going to have to deal with later. Okay, I'm gonna have to come around. Or better yet, let's follow our own advice. Get everything started and then tighten it down. So yeah, hopefully we can complete this build today, and then later today we'll probably, if everything works out, we may even install Windows 7 and get that taken care of. And then the big question when we got all done, do I put the case badges on it? Or no? So I do have the case badge for this Athlon. This tighten down, and I can show you, and there we go. And now you can see the clearancing that we had to do. Right there, in order to clear that fan. And now while we're at at it, let's go ahead and route this a little bit. Excuse me. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I think we will put in, that means we need to modify, we have to change the fans out on the hot swap bay. The hot swap bay needs to go in next on the tower. Now I got this IC dock 6 drive. This way we can use up all the drive, the SATA drive ports on this motherboard. One for the main OS drive, one for the optical drive, and 6 for this hot swap bay. So you put in your 2.5-inch drive, whether it's an SSD or a hard drive, and you snap it in. Has a little LED for each drive to show when they're live, but in the reviews they say the fans give out and are noisy. So we're going to swap them out. These are 40mm fans. Diamond, welcome back. Well, thank you for being here for even just a minute, Diamond. I really appreciate it. I'll check out your stream afterwards as well. Really appreciate you being here. But these are 40mm fans. We're changing them out for my favorite 40mm fan, which is this one from Arctic. They are a 28. This is a 10mm deep fan. These are my preferred fans for 40mm. They are a 28mm deep PMW fan. So these fans are driven off of the unit here, the bay unit. We can have them set to automatic, high, low, or whatever. I'm going to put these on and actually make them as intake fans, wire them up to be run from the motherboard. So I'm only ever planning on using SSDs in here. Any airflow over them will be plenty. So, but we have to change out the screws. These screws are definitely not going to be long enough for this much deeper fan. If you see the blades on there, you're going to get a lot more positive air pressure with this. Okay, well, you know what? I'll still check it out. I don't know. I haven't watched too much. FNAF. I'm trying to put that in my head because right now I can't think. I'm having a little bit of brain fog for multiple reasons. But I'll still check it out and see. But still, appreciate you being here for as long as you can, Diamond. Thank you. So, got the fans removed. This is just a plastic backing, plastic cover on the back. And these screws, if you were to look at them very carefully, you can see by the thread they're made to tap, self-tap into something like plastic. But we need something longer. You said this is a 28mm fan. It's over twice as big, almost 3 times as big, as deep as one of those, as the stock fan. So we need some longer screws. And I have some 34mm here. That should be long enough for us to do what we need to do. Now these are not the plastic tapping kind like the stock screw. These are machine screws. A little bit bigger. I bet though if we were to take some calipers to these, it wouldn't be that far off of each other as far as width. But we're going to use those as self-tapping screws and just run them into this plastic, because once they're mounted, I don't plan to be taking them off. So let us change our bit out to a proper size bit for these screws. Get our first fan. You know what? I'm going to have the fan, the wires go straight down from here. Now, let's try this one first. See how it's going to feel going in. Yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it. You get tight, you back off a little bit, run it back down. And if you really wanted to get fancy, I could have modified these screws as well. You know what? These are long enough. I think they came with washers. I think I will use the washers underneath them. I won't have to run them as deep. Yeah, we gotta be careful going any deeper because we're going to be hitting the PCB back there. Okay, I need my other screwdriver. Okay. out washers. I might double up the washers just so I don't have to drive this any deeper than I absolutely have to. Yeah, that'll work. Changing out the fans. I've used these fans before on for a sleeper build. Ghost Squad, welcome back. Today we are building a dedicated Windows 7 machine for gaming and emulation and some general writing on Office 7, Microsoft Office 7, that I prefer to use for some writing that I do. So that's what we're building today. And right now we are modifying the hot swap bay, taking off the stock puny 10mm fans used to cool this thing, and bolting on these monster 28mm they're 40mm by 10, but these are 40mm by 28. They're monsters. Move a good positive pressure air. And so that's what we're using, and wiring them up instead of being driven by the unit, driven by the motherboard as intake fans. We are hopefully completing the build this morning, and then maybe this afternoon I'll install Windows 7 and possibly move some games over. It depends on stuff. Being vague and mysterious. Depends on stuff. All right, so there we go. There is the new hot swap bay ready to go in. We'll see. I still have to hook up power wires, and yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun to hook up everything to that. A lot of fun. And more fun cable management. What are we hitting now? doesn't. That is a tight. You know what? I apologize because the camera angle for doing this stuff, unless I had a bigger table I was doing it at, is not optimal sometimes. It does look like it belongs on the front of this thing. I'll get it bolted in and try and turn it so you can see. Or, yeah, I know most people are watching this on their phones, which makes it difficult to see what I'm doing. Oh boy, that's going to be really difficult for me to see what I'm doing. I don't want to slide that back out. That was kind of, did not want to move. All the fun things you run into in doing a build like this. Hopefully my cable management will be halfway decent. Maybe I'll get the SATA cable out now. The SATA power cable. You know what, I'll start we'll start with some basic, start the cable management now, just to make things a little easier to work. Don't spare the cable ties. Make sure you have plenty of them. I use them just to hold stuff out of the way, get things basic. If I like where they are, they stay. If I don't, I remove them. But you're kind of getting a feel for how all this is going to go together as you do it. Angry Ghost, hey, welcome, welcome. I'm hoping to, but we'll have to see how things kind of shake out. Like I said, I was hoping to maybe do another live stream of this Windows 7 installation. I'm not sure if I'll do another game today. There's a lot of stuff going on in my life right now. Big life change, and I'm kind of dealing with that. So yeah, I would like to do another stream. Hopefully we'll do some checking before we end, and see if I can give a more solid answer. I'm also waiting for something to show up, but for this build. See, there's one that I don't really want right there. Being very careful not to cut your wires, your fan wires. So be careful how tight you tighten your zip ties. See you, Angry Ghost. Thanks for joining us for as long as you could. Thank you all for being here, everyone who's tuned in. Appreciate the support. Remember, before you go, if you can't stay, if you like this, hit that like button. Okay, I'm not putting the RGB, zip tying that up yet. But now, the big reveal. There, we got some of the wiring a little more straightened out here, a little more organized. Now we can, I need to bolt in this hot swap bay. Need a different bit. Okay, having trouble getting into that screw in. Let's try this side. No, these are not either long enough or the right size. Oh, these, I know. Those I think are for the bays, for the bay trays. No. I don't think they would be for the bay trays either. Those are for the trays. Yeah, these are supposed to be for bolting it in, but they are not working. So we'll set them to the side. And get into our own supply over here. Having trouble with this one. Let's try the other side. You don't need too many of these screws actually holding the bit drive in. You can get away with very few of them actually, just one, maybe two. There's one. Can't get that one in. Let's see if we can get, now that we've got one in on this side, let's see if we can get one on the other side. Perhaps, perhaps not. I got it in. I've used other cases where that have the toolless bays. The Monolith has one of those. Is one of those cases, and I kind of didn't like it. I like putting in the screws anyway to help secure everything, but it's nice if you can't get the screws in. Usually the toolless system will work. Sometimes it works better. So pros and cons. So in the last stream as well, you guys let me get away with a big noob mistake. I was cleaning up after the last stream, and I got to where I was cleaning up the thermal paste syringe, and I thought, you know what? I don't remember pulling off the plastic cover off the bottom of the heatsink before I placed it. And I thought, you know what? I don't think I did. So I went back, I opened it up. Sure enough, I had left the plastic cover on the bottom, still on the bottom of the heatsink. So yeah, changed that, pulled that off, repasted. If you notice from last video to this video, the orientation of the heatsink is different too. I have it now, the line, instead of the lines coming off this side, the lines coming off on this side, routing up, which pushes the pump down away from, instead of up, into this, which gives the pump allows the pump not to be the highest point in the system. I had wanted to put this with the radiator turned the other way, but you just didn't have enough. Once I have the two graphics cards in here, there wouldn't have been enough hose to reach. This is really made, the frozen Notte is really made to go above. But if you see, look here, I already had to clearance this. In order to get this radiator in here with the end tanks on here, I would have had to clearance into the bay slot. And I'm not sure that's riveted in. It's not just something that can be removed. So I didn't want to go that far in modification to get the radiator in above. I figured if I get it in here and I just don't have the pump as the highest point, it'll work for a long time. So that's what we did. All right, so do I get the SATA power cable hooked up? You know what? Let's get the main drive going in is a 2 terabyte Crucial BX500, 2.5-inch SSD, SATA drive. Why 2 terabytes? Because Windows won't install on anything bigger than 2 terabytes. So we're doing 2 terabytes. And then, of course, we have the front base slot, which will allow us to expand with as many drives, up to 6 more drives. Woo! All right, so what did I say? Power cable, a SATA power cable, and SATA drive cables. Oh, well, we're going to install this drive first. That's where I was at. Yeah, I'm a little scatterbrained. Just a little bit. You have the morning sun coming in, as well as the overhead light. All right, where are our hard drives? Those. If I can get one out of the little bin. Not these. Oh, there we are. Screws for 2.5-inch SSD. These little guys. I feel like the head's so small that it's just going to pull through those bolt holes they gave me. Well, we'll see. We will see. Maybe it, yeah. Ah, that screw, the bolt, the screw head is just big enough to fit right through the hole where they want you to mount this SSD. More fun stuff to deal with. So we're going to look at doing a washer of some sort underneath that. I have these little mainboard insulation washers I think I will use to mount this thing. All right, where are you? Where are you? There you are. And we try not to get carried away tightening. I tend to over tighten things. Am I making a mistake by mounting it now before I've hooked up the cables? We'll see. So for those who are watching, thanks for tuning in. We're building a Windows 7, dedicated Windows 7 machine. Why Windows 7? It's a great operating system. And it'll handle a lot of retro games and emulation. Perfect for that. As well as running Microsoft Office 7. Or 97, or no, not 97, 7. 07. That doesn't want to go in. I don't want to force it. I'll end up stripping something. We are just a little bit off. And some people would say we're a lot off. There we go. Don't tighten everything down until all the bolts are in place. This is a tight case to work in. Not as much space given to cable management in this case. It is, so it definitely gives the feel of working in an older case. Okay, I think we should need to start hooking up SATA cables. Starting with our SSD on the back. And to match the rest of the build, we have red ones. No, I didn't spring for getting cables from Cable Mod. I would have, if money was no object, I would have, but for those cables, no, granted, I think they're worth what you pay for them, but they're pretty pricey. Especially if you're gonna do it, I just want to do a whole set of power cables, SATA cables, the whole 9 yards. Okay, this goes in here. Let's see. This will come around here. Now I'm going to need a SATA power cable. So it's time to open up the power supply. Time to get out the power supply. 1,000 watts of power, 1,000 watts of love. Okay, keep the screws because you want to use the screws that come for it for mounting. They're designed to not be too deep to damage anything on the inside. Okay, here we go. I should have got the razor knife. Oh, don't need it. Okay, we're looking for SATA cables. SATA power. Oh, we'll just start pulling them out. What do we got? What do we got? We got Molex power. We don't need Molex. We got CPU power. We'll need that later. Another CPU power. Or standard 8-pin. Okay. 12-volt high power. Ooh, we want nothing to do with that. I'm reminded always of that regular show part where Muscle Man rides up with some girls by Mordecai and Rigby in their cart. And the girls ask, Muscle Man, what are those? And he says, those are losers, baby. You want nothing to do with them. Anyway, that's what I feel like with the 12-volt high power. You want nothing to do with that. Okay, PCIe, we're gonna need that later. Okay, there is one SATA cable. This one is a right angle. I would like a straight. There is the big 24 pin. Okay, there's a straight SATA cable. I need that. Definitely need that for getting power up here. Oh boy, I hope that's long enough. I really hope that's long enough. It might not be long enough. Looks like we're getting really close to having to install the power supply. I think we are. Another PCIe. Another PCIe. Another PCIe. Plenty of PCIe. Don't need that many. Won't need that many. Okay, and we might need 2 of these. So if that's the case, I do have extras from other power supplies from like power supplies. So, you know, I know they work with Type 4s. That's what Corsair uses. That's what we've got. That's why it helps to stick to the same brand sometimes. So, not this. You know what? Let's even get the power supply out. Let's get it out. Safety and compliance information. You will comply. No, we won't. I refuse. $1,000 We need it because we are running 2 graphics cards in Crossfire. So, this being the case, we need to take this, get this opened up, see how much cable we have to deal with. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, but maybe not. We have to get the power supply in place. And see. I might need some SATA power extensions. This will be going in right here. That will work. That will work. Yeah, because I'm already thinking, okay, how am I going to solve this problem? I see it being a problem. How am I going to solve it? Already there. For the PSU. And they give me more zip ties. Excellent. Always need more of those. You get 4 screws, and only 4 screws. I'm trying to push on the wall here. That's not going to work. It's going to add substantially more weight to this machine now. Yeah. Okay, so actually, oh, that'll work. It might not be very pretty, but it will work. Go ahead and bring this SATA cable around. Going in this way. We're going to start. I want to reroute this one. Move it out of the way. Okay. Okay, and my power has to come up here. All right, so you can see what I'm dealing with. Let's rotate this down. I guess it's just wires. I gotta get this plugged in up here. Ooh. Figure out how it's gonna work. Oh, I forgot to hook that USB cable back up. Let's hook that up. There we go. Okay. If I can look through and looking through the fan. Okay. Just looking to see if I can see the orientation. I believe it's this way. Now let's see if I can get it in. I should go find the headlamp. I should do a lot of things. Aaron, good morning. How are you doing? Okay, it's going in this way. We're going in this orientation. We got it in. I didn't think I was gonna get that. You know what? I need to change this. I need to go into this side with it. If I can. If I can. This one I'm going to have to try and do blind and by feel. Or I could remove some of the RAM. Oh, let's remove some of the RAM. Let's remove some RAM. You don't need all that memory. There's one. Don't worry. This isn't ESD mat. Okay. Now, with that out of the way, mayhaps we'll have a better time getting this power cable plugged in. And maybe we won't. I think I may have had it there for a second. What I really need is a mirror. I could do this if I had a mirror and a light and a headlamp, which I don't have here, which I would have at work or at my shop, but I don't have here. Can't tell if I'm in place or not. I think I'm in. Let's go ahead and hook up this other side as well. got power hooked up to the drives. That's a good thing. And why is this so twisted? Let's adjust that. Power to all right, now we can put the memory back in place. Oh, the mess of wires in these older builds. All right. That provides power for that. We still have to do these cables. We will route them behind here as well. Zip tie. Okay. Turn this so everyone can see what we're dealing with. Next up, we need another SATA cable. This one is coming up. And the next SATA cable. We have a bunch of these to hook up. Maybe I should have put those behind. Probably. Okay, we're changing things up just a little bit. There was some adjustment that we do on the fly as we go. Okay, the next cable. Okay. Now I need to look down in here. None of those drives are numbered. So we will go left to right. One. All right, let's see if we can do this by feel. Doing it by braille. If I can. I'm gonna need a flashlight. It's not the best flashlight, but it might help me a little bit. Just a little bit of light makes a huge difference sometimes. A little bit of light in just the right place. And there's the snap. Drive 2 is in place. Next up, there we go, snapped into place. And more SATA cables are needed. Okay, and this is the next one that's going to be tricky, doing almost blind. we go. Got that one in. Next. Chicken necks. Sorry, I'm sticking my head in cam. I need to sometimes on builds like these. Sometimes it is required. Where did I set? There they are, hiding. Okay, I think just one last SATA cable and all of the drive bays will be installed and hooked up. Okay, let's see if I can get this last cable in place. Can't even see where it goes. I can't see a thing. Oh, I think I got lucky. I think I just got lucky. Ha! I got lucky. Got it. We got it. Try and do a little more cable management along the way. Okay. Oh. Careful there. Okay. We should start installing the main power wires. Main power cable time. First, we want a big 24. Start with the big 24. Okay. It's buried. Motherboard. All right, tipping this on his back so we can plug in this 24 pin. The big boy. It needs to go in that way. Try and take some of this bend out of this as much as we can. Headlamp would be nice. A flashlight that was worth something would be nice as well. All right. Let's make sure we get seated. We're in place. We just need to make sure we're seated. There we go. Ahead of the snap. Now for the CPU power. CPU. That's another nice thing about, I like that about Corsair power supplies, is they label which cables are for which. If you're unsure, if you get confused. This one needs to dip through the frame, come up from behind. Now we can do a little more cable management. I need to turn on the overhead fan. It's getting a little warm back here. Do some more cable management over here. Of the SATA cables. Okay. A little more cable management. We're almost ready to install the graphics cards. All right. We need one other SATA cable. We'll hold off on that. We'll do the graphics cards next. Graphics cards come next, but let's go ahead. Some of this is pretty well where we want it, I think. You know what? We're redoing this one. Okay. Still have those two fans to hook up. So we'll do after the graphics cards. But I think we are ready to install those bad boys. Okay, let's get the graphics cards out. Ooh, ooh. Don't be chewing up my case. All right, let's get them out. One 290X and two 290Xs. Install this one first. the top one first. These are both 2-slot cards installed in Crossfire. It's got a little something on it. Oh well. A little. And I have a support that will go in as well for these cards, both these cards. Well, that's in there pretty good. I was worried that with the weight of the card, that's in there pretty good. Let me see if I can get this over a little bit more so it's centered. You can see better what I'm doing. Okay, I think what's next is the PCIe lanes, hooking up, powering the graphics cards, putting power to the graphics. Not this one. With this one. one thing. The newer, the 2025 Corsair power supplies, these are not ribboned like this. They're loose, so you can bundle them easier. Don't know which I prefer. Honestly, not sure which I prefer. I can't see a thing. Okay, we're going to disconnect some of these other ones that are in this motherboard, the motherboard power supply that is in the way of connecting these other ones right now. We don't need that hooked up while we hook up these other. There we go. Yeah, some custom cables would be nice. One of these days I'll do a build, maybe when I replace the monolith. Diamond, welcome back. A non-modular? Yeah, I just didn't know if it would have everything. Once you get up to the higher power supplies, it seems like all there is modular. And it would make it easier than trying to get this in right now. Come on. There we go. Now I can hook the motherboard supply back up. I'm trying to keep things out of the way of the radiator so it has some decent flow. Lastly, now I need one more. Well, now I need to put in the support for the graphics cards. If it'll fit. If I can get it in there. Or do I do just go on the outside here? I should have took up the last. I need to put in one more SATA power. That might work right there. Maybe I should have waited, put that in. We'll see. Okay, lastly, we need the last SATA power, and I think I have to steal that out of another box. Right there. Don't swap power cables between different power supplies unless you're absolutely sure they are the same. And with Corsair, you can look them up by type. These are type 4. So the difference between the box I just pulled it from and this one is this is a RM1000e. The box I pulled from was a RM750e, just a lower power supply. They both run type 4 cables. You can get away with it. Don't do it otherwise. How well on Windows 11? Well, never ran into any problems or having CPU assigned game. Oh, cool. Oh, because of the RX, yeah, the 480. That's interesting. No problems running Windows 11. So I could build this thing. Now the RX 480 had, let's see, what did you say? With 8 gigs? Yeah. This will have 8 gigs, but it's shared in Crossfire. It could probably still run Windows. It should still run Windows 11. I wonder if it'll come up as being, you know, Microsoft eligible for Windows 11. System supportable for Windows 11. Okay, standing up. I have a couple little things still to hook up. I have to hook up the lower fan. It's going to be struggling to push air, but that's okay. Okay, we have power to the main drive. Okay, I have some RGB and one lower fan and a couple of fans, 3 fans to hook up. First off, the lower fan. Turn this on its back. I had this lower fan hooked up earlier, but I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it there Turns out I am. Now it's more difficult to put back in, but not impossible. And that is why they pay me the big bucks. Or there should. I don't like that. I don't like the way it's routed. I want it coming behind these cables. Behind the power cables. I'm very good with my fingers in my hands. Most of the time. Some of the time. 50% of the time, it works 100% of the time. I got it on once. I should be able to get it on a second time. If I have it rotated the right way, I can. There we go. Yeah, I need to put that. I need to get a Windows 11 ISO. I could do it from the command line. I used to be more command line savvy than I am now. I've forgotten a lot of stuff, but growing up from the DOS days, you get pretty familiar with command line work, which is my background. Coming from the DOS days of gaming. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put some more. Okay, I need to hook this up. I need to hook up this RGB. And install the controller. Because RGB makes it go faster. I just want to be able to illuminate the system. Okay. I'm gonna destroy this case before I even get it built. Come along underneath here. Okay, here's our RGB loop. Put it at the end of the loop, I suppose. Now we need the RGB controller, which we have this fancy little one. SATA powered controlled, has a remote control. We'll at least see if it posts in this stream. We have to at least see if it'll post. If we can get into the BIOS and all the drives and everything show up, the drives and the GPUs, all the peripherals show up, we should be sitting pretty. Okay. That isn't very good. Okay, that's how I wanted it. Yes. It's always fun trying to figure out this RGB stuff, and then you get it all done. Like, why are there 2 fans that aren't coming on? Now, where to put the RGB controller? I guess I'll put it on right where I was thinking. It's not the it's not, I don't know if it's the best place for it, but it'll work. Right down on yeah, it would be interesting to see. And you know, I could do that. I can always just disable the Windows 7 drive and see if I can install Windows 11 on one of the other drives. Make this thing multi-boot. Okay. The RGB controller. How do we want you mounted? How do we want you to control? Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I just need to do some little bit more cable management in the back and in the front. And I'm always like, am I sure that's where I want to route the cables? No, I'm not totally sure, but you can always change it. Okay. Managing the RGB cables in the back. First I need to plug in my power. Yeah, a lot of the services are discontinued. But mainly this is going to be an offline machine too. Just to have some programs that, like I said, Microsoft Office 7 is going to be the main thing I'm going to install on here. And I don't know, just because I need to build a computer right now. With everything going on in my life, I need a computer. Oh, that just broke. Those zip ties are old. Try it again with a different one. Keep forgetting I still have a couple fans to hook up. And I don't want to give Microsoft any more of my money. Okay, I need to have a Y adapter for fans. I have to hook up the last two fans, which will be going to, which are cooling the hot swap bay and also acting as small intake fans, just to give it a little bit more flow. Okay, where do I want you to come in at? Down here. And we'll pull you right across here. This case fan header. There we go. All right. Let's see if I can get just a few more things in here. Okay, I need to remove that one. Cable management. Manage those cables. Get all those cables off the fan, that lower fan. They're already obstructing it enough. I I don't need them rubbing on it either. Oh, my main computer, the Monolith. It is an AM4 platform. It is running a Ryzen 9 5950X. The graphics card is Radeon 7900X. And it's got 128 gigs of DDR4 running at 3. I can't remember if I'm running it. I think I'm running at 3.6 gigahertz on those, and a 1,000-watt power supply, AIO cooled, as well as the graphics card is AIO cooled. Radeon 6900X. Did I say a 7900? 6900 XT. Yeah. Yeah, Xbox stuff. I'll do a little because Microsoft now has got Minecraft. I do have a Microsoft account. I do have Minecraft installed. But let's see. Let's grab those all together. I wanted to build something that was both I could game on and do some workstation stuff, so I could stream and do some editing. I wanted something that would be, I could do some video editing if I wanted to, and edit in 4K. I can capture up to 8K, but actually no, I can only capture up to 4K. Okay, that's not looking too bad. Okay, so here we are on the front side. If you can see that. We got cables and hoses and things going everywhere. And then on the back side, please don't laugh at my cable management. I'm of the opinion it's where you can't see it. I'll get it neat and orderly, but I'm not doing it to show quality at this point. At this point, I am satisfied enough with it. All right, let's throw this back cover on. And I'm not even having to crush wires. That's good. That's always a good feeling when you're not like, get in there. Okay, and on the front side, maybe I'll keep it laid down like this and see if I can hook up power and everything to it, and if we can fire this sucker up. And watch it glow. Okay, we do have a plastic sheet on the inside of this one. Plastic protector that we need to get rid of. The satisfying shh. And then we have one on the outside of it as well. Only thing I wish this had was a little more cable management space and a glass front panel instead of a plastic one. Come on. Come off. You know you want to come off. Don't make me get the exact, oh, you're gonna make me get the X-Acto knife out. All right, let's try the other side. See if we can get this one to come off clean. Or at least, yeah, there we go. Okay, she is built. And now the moment of truth, though. We need to get some power over here. I might have to turn off the overhead light in order to hook up power to her. I'll need a keyboard and a mouse. All right, we're shutting down the other Windows 7 machine. Get the power cord out. Let's put this X-Acto knife away before I stab myself. Before I stick myself, I should say. And my video just got banned. Come on, wake up, so I can put you back to sleep. So I can shut you down. Because I'm going to steal your keyboard and mouse. All right, let's get the power cord out. Well, let's see how bad it's going to look if I turn. Well, we shouldn't have the glare. We're getting the glare of the ring light. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to turn you off there. We have the glare of the ring light on that case. So if I disable the light, unplug it. All right, now I need keyboard and mouse. Oh, come on. All right. A mouse. And a keyboard. And let's see, an HDMI cord. I think it's acrylic, but it could just be plastic. I'm not sure. I need to look up the specs on the on the Focus G from Fractal. Let's see. With a B550, HyperX Fury 16 gigs, good. That's nice. 37, that's quick. With a 5600G, nice. And an RTX 3060 with 12 gigs. Yeah, that should be able to game anything you throw at it. That's a decent rig right there. Nothing to be ashamed of with that. Oh, and my motherboard is a ASUS X570 Prime. It's the Prime X570 Pro. In case anyone was wondering on that. But not this one. This one is a Ranger, a Crossfire Ranger. So let's see, my HDMI cable. And we'll switch. Let me switch. Okay, we have HDMI is hooked up. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to switch the cam, the forward-facing cam. I'm going to keep the overhead cam going, but I'm going to switch the forward-facing cam, my face cam, to the video capture. And get my screen capture turned on here. And we'll see if she'll pull up. Why is it showing up so small? There we go. We'll see if she'll show up. If she'll post. And if she does post, if she'll register on the video capture. Sometimes I have to have a monitor directly hooked up in order to see what's going on. In fact, let me make sure I can't. I'm not able to do that. No, not long enough. This is the best bet. Okay. You know what? That's what else I can do. Let me put this on the other input. And that should give us, I think, we'll see. Here we go, firing her up and seeing if anything happens. Oh, ha ha ha. Got to turn on the power supply. Turning on the power supply. Oh, there we go. We have the start button. Things are illuminated. Oh yeah, fill in all 4 slots and get up to 32 gigs. Switch to 5800X. Oh yeah, that would be sweet. That would be sweet. Here we go. Oh, the RGB all lights up. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see if we're going to get anything on the video capture. I know it's going to have to go through all its checks. 66, I have no idea if that's good or bad. AE, it's going through its checks. Let's see if we can just change the color. Ooh, yep, there we go. Oh, you know what else? I left the plastic cover on the heatsink for the CPU. We gotta pull that off. The plastic protector sheet. There we go. I think it's just plastic. I think this cover is just plastic. Instead of the RGB puke, we turn it red. Thank you. Yes, drivers. I still have drivers that need to install, and I'm not getting picture for some reason. I could try a different HDMI port with the other card. Yeah, I still have to get the drivers downloaded. So that's why I'm saving that probably for the next stream of the installation of everything and setup. Why am I not getting any video though? Let's try the other card, maybe. AE, all right. Looks, well, that's the thing. I don't have any video. I need to hook up straight to a video source. So give me just a second here. While I move a cord I'm really glad the cam can't see me bending over everything, trying to figure this all out. Let's go directly in here. Switch over my inputs. No signal, no signal, no signal. Switch back the cam. Oh wait, not this one. Switch this back to the cam. All right, so we're having an issue. I'm going to try shutting it down, rebooting, resetting. We'll turn it back on to the RGB puke. Maybe. Ooh. My last code it's reading is AE. Oh, reboot and select proper boot device or insert boot media in selected boot and press A key. It's okay, we got video. We are posting. We are posting. So let's reset that and let's see if we can get into the BIOS. Neo Wolf, welcome, welcome, welcome. Heading out to the ranch? Thank you for the like, Neo Wolf. Really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Come on, just go into BIOS. Or are we having a BIOS problem here? I get a cursor on the screen for a second. Reboot and select proper boot device or insert boot media in selected boot device and press a key. I wonder if we're having problems with the BIOS. Well, how long have we been streaming? 2.5 hours? We're almost hitting 11 o'clock. Well, you can't get into the BIOS. I might have to pull the BIOS chip that I had put in and replace it with the stock one, the original one that came with the motherboard, and see if that'll make a difference. Or I get out my Windows 7 installation media and see if we can install Windows 7. It's asking for a boot device. I just can't get into the BIOS for some reason. Reboot and select proper boot device. What to do, what to do. I'm not sure. I need to look up and see if we can flash. I think we can flash the BIOS. Actually, I'm not. I think we can flash the BIOS with this motherboard. Yeah, because if I take that back out, I got to take out the support, take out that graphics card, pop the BIOS chip, put the other one in. I wonder why that's not coming through. Oh well. But I think that's going to be it for the stream for today, or for this morning right now. I'm going to have to come back and revisit this. But you got to see it fire up, at least the lights come on. I do have video, so that's good. Okay, the fun troubleshooting part begins. Why? Well, let's try that. Let's put in, before we end the stream, I will drop in the Windows 7 and see if it'll act like it wants to go. And maybe it's being weird because of the optical drive. Maybe I have the optical in position drive 0, and maybe instead of the hard drive in drive 0. Okay. We will insert our Windows installation. We will reboot. And see what happens. She's trying to do something. Nope, nope, nope. No, the drive was brand new, so it shouldn't have had anything on it. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing, is the BIOS not opening. The only thing I did, the motherboards are supposed to have been tested and good. I think I even saw screen capture of them booting into BIOS. So I think what happened is I swapped out the BIOS chip on the previous episode during the installation, prepping the motherboard for a new one that's supposed to have the newest BIOS already on it. And maybe that is what's doing it. I need to pull that out, put the other one back in, see if we can boot into BIOS. Yeah. I think that's gonna have to be what I do. Or try and flash the BIOS. Which, in case I need to try and find the BIOS, download it. Yeah, I don't know if I've got a flash drive that's empty that I can spare yet for a BIOS flash. I'm prepared. Can you tell? Yeah. So, I think that's going to be it. We're going to pull this Windows 7 installation media out. We'll be installing Windows 7 Ultimate 64-bit edition when we get this thing working. I hope it's not the motherboard. I have a second motherboard. I have 2 motherboards. I really hope it's not the motherboard. I need to look up the code on that's throwing AE. See what's going on there. It's not seeing itself. It's not seeing the BIOS. So let me just slide back over here. And we will switch this. Produced on the fly. Anytime. I hope it was relaxing for you guys. It is a good distraction for me from what's going on. So, thank you guys for joining us. Everyone, Diamond, Neo Wolf, Aaron, who else jumped into chat earlier? Angry Ghost and Ghost Squad. Thank you guys for being here. And everyone else, remember, hit that like button if you like this kind of content. If you enjoyed the video, if you made it this far, you're amazing. Hope you all have a good day as well. So until next time, I am Archimedes signing off.